Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Pierre Philippe model 1952. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. No matter how I get a watch in for review on this channel, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you do want to pick one of these up, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the video description. That is a link to the official AliExpress website, or AliExpress store, I should say. It is an affiliate link, so if you use that link, you're not paying any extra. It just earns me a little bit of commission, helps keep the channel running. So here you can see the retail price for this watch is $223 US. There's slight variation in the prices as you're seeing here as I'm going through the different colors. Yeah, go check them out because each one varies just a little bit. Max price is about $223 though. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a push-pull crown, a screw-down case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Hangzhou 7A10A hand wind movement, which looks really nice back here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So if you guys aren't aware, this is actually an homage watch. It's a little bit different than the Furlan Mari disco line, but it's very similar. The dial is almost identical. Obviously the movement changes, the price changes, all that stuff. I just wanted you guys to be aware. But what is the watch like? Is it any good? How does it wear? It's kind of a unique looking watch, right? So we'll get into all that in this review. So I say we get right into it. But before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing the Vario Empire chronograph. This is the new version. I reviewed the old version a while back. This one has just been slightly updated. I think it looks fantastic. A review for this will be coming very soon. Okay, so let's talk about dimensions. We got a case diameter of 38.3 millimeters. Got a thickness of 10.3 millimeters. We do have standard 20 millimeter lug width. A very unusual 32.7 millimeter lug tip to lug tip. And on the supplied leather strap, weighs 51 grams. So dimensions on this are really unique, 38 millimeters in diameter. Lug to lug, as you can see here, the lugs are kind of underneath the watch a little bit here. So yeah, the lug to lug is actually quite a bit shorter. But yeah, it just kind of sits like a pill on the wrist. It kind of reminds me of like how a Willard wears. It wears a lot smaller than the dimensions suggest. 38, I think, is a good size on me for the most point. This watch here is actually 38 millimeters, but you can just see that without any lugs, it just wears a little bit smaller. It kind of feels like a 36 and a half-ish maybe. So yeah, it does wear very light, very comfortable. There's no sharp edges on it. Nice and thin as well, as you can see here. Pretty flat case, as it, it just doesn't need any curvature to it. But yeah, I do like the way that it wears. It just wears a little bit small for me. So I'm going to go outside right now, throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I mean, it just wears a little bit small for me. I mean, I knew this was going to be a little bit of a small watch, especially without any lugs, but I mean, I think it's very comfortable. If you have smaller wrists, this thing is actually going to look really good on you. But yeah, it feels more like a 36 millimeter watch to me. So just go in knowing that, and I think you'll be all right. And I figured I would get it out in some direct sunlight. Since I'm not going to be able to throw any straps on this, we will talk about the strap situation here in a little bit. But yeah, no straps for this one, and I think it looks pretty good. The air coating on the crystal is pretty good. The dial plays with the light nicely. The case does as well. It's got a lot of polishing on it, and yeah, I think it actually looks pretty good. Nice and low profile too. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. So the case finishing is fully polished. I don't see a single brushed surface on the watch here. So right around the crystal here, we do have a little polished ring. Then we have that nice kind of coin edge bezel. Reminds me of like an Oris bezel. It looks really good. Nicely machined, in my opinion. Nicely polished. And we have another polished surface there. We have a polished case sides, as you can see here, polishing on this underside here where there's little bit of a chamfer there. So it's a super soft case on wrist. There's really no sharp edges on this thing anywhere. It feels really good. We have an unsigned push-pull crown here at the 3 o'clock position, and it does kind of nestle down into the case a little bit, so it is a little bit protected, and just a very minimal look to it. It doesn't protrude out from this otherwise circular watch sitting on your wrist. So the case finishing is actually done to a pretty high standard, in my opinion. The polishing looks really good. Again, there's no sharp edges like you would think something like this here would be sharp, and it's not at all. So really happy with the case finishing on this watch. flipping it over to the case back, we do have a display case back here. I said it's a screw down case back just because I don't see a notch or anything like that to pop this off, but there's no notches to screw it down, so they might have just used the sticky ball. I'm not really sure. But yeah, 50 meters of claimed water resistance, so maybe it is just a snap-on case back, and I just don't see a place to get a tool under there to pop it off. That is just a mineral crystal there, sadly. But other than that, really happy with the case finishing on this. Like I said, a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but there's really no sharp edges on this thing anywhere, and it's a really unique case, as you can see here, and it does accept normal 20 millimeter lug width. Unfortunately, they are curved spring bars there just because the movement is so big. They couldn't just cut this flat, sadly. So that is something that we will talk about here in a little bit. But the case finishing on the watch is actually pretty impressive. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. I did test it for sapphire with my diamond selector. That one is sapphire, and like I mentioned, this one is mineral. So it is a sapphire crystal, double domed with some anti-reflective coating on the underside. Just a clear anti-reflective coating. There's not a whole lot of it, but there is enough in there just to keep the dial nice and legible and clean. Like I said, it's not the best AR coating on a crystal I've seen, but it's far from the worst. You can see here, even at the extreme angles, nice and clear. So that just tells me that the outer curve and the inner curve are the same. So yeah, there's no distortion or anything like that. A little bit of a chamfer around the outside edge, but that's about it. It does sit up above the bezel just a hair, and it's, again, a very subtle double dome. The rehout on this watch is basically non-existent. I mean, you can see it, but it's very slim. Gives a nice premium look to it. I think the crystal on this watch is good. So the dial on the watch is really interesting. There is a couple different dials that you can get. This is the most interesting one and most intricate one. There's some that are just painted flat. This one does have some sandwich effect to it, and it has some applied aspects to it as well. Some brushing and polishing, and there's just a lot going on. So we'll start on the outer ring here. So we have a minute track here printed with the even numerals there for every minute. So that's interesting, something I've never seen before. I think it does look pretty good. Makes it seem a little bit busy, but it actually just kind of works. And that is a kind of a sunburst finish. And then on the inner ring here, we have our hour markers there at the 10, 2, 4, and 6. We have a sub-second dial here, looking pretty good. That one does have a little bit of sunburst as well. And then on the middle where we have our Pierre Philippe Levier branding there, it's kind of this matte texture. It's really interesting. We have a double applied baton index there at the 12 o'clock, single batons at 3 and 9, and that's it. And then you can see kind of, let's see if I can show you. Around the subdial, it's most apparent. There's kind of a sandwich effect. So the hour marking there, and then the middle inner there, it's separated by this lower section, and that is lumed. So this watch does have a little bit of lume on it, so I'll get to that in just a second. But I just wanted to point out that there's just a lot going on this dial. I think it looks pretty good. The handset that they used, really nice looking handset in my opinion. No issues with that. There is a little bit of a smudge on the hour hand. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'd like them to kind of clean that up a little bit. But other than that, that's the only real issue I see with the hands and with the alignment and all that stuff. But like I said, there is some lume on this watch, which is kind of a surprise for this kind of a dressy watch, and it's actually not bad. So I'm going to pop up a lume shot against a couple other watches in the collection, and you can see how it handles it. A little bit hard to get your bearings, but you can do it. So I figured I would throw just a quick lume shot up here. It's not the best lume. It's not really usable past I don't know, a couple hours. You can't really read it anymore, but right off the bat, you actually do get a little bit of a decent lume shot. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. All right, so let's talk about the movement. So the movement inside, we're going to flip it over because it tells us everything we need to know about this watch here. So the caliber is the maker of the movement is Hangzhou. The caliber is the 7A, 10A hand wind only movement. So you're going to have to hand wind this one. Thankfully, it does have 80 hours of power reserve, as you can see right here. Power reserve 80 hours. It's also a 28,800 vibrations per hour, so it's a high beat movement. It has 24 jewels, as you can see there. It's got some decent decoration going on as well. You can see all the jewels. It's a nice looking movement, and the fact that it's an 80-hour power reserve, it just kind of adds icing to the cake. Here's how this one has been running for me. Not too bad, plus 8 seconds, so can't really complain about that. The movement on this watch is actually very nice. I have it in another watch as well, and it is and it is very nice in that watch as well. So yeah, I do like this movement. It's actually really, really cool, nice to look at as well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. The movement operates by this 3 o'clock push-pull crown here, again unsigned, a little bit of a tiny crown, and it does kind of sink in there, so it's a little bit hard to get a grip on, but really not too bad. This first position here is your hand winding. It's kind of a heavier hand winding. This one will actually tighten up on you, so as you wind it and get it to full power reserve, which this one is almost at, it does eventually tighten up and stop wanting to wind. So just be careful, just don't overwind it. So the movement, as you pull out the crown here, it does hack the movement, as you can see there. This is where you set your time. It's a pretty heavy feeling on the crown. I mean, a nice and stiff feeling. It feels really good. The crown has no wobble at all on it. The hand alignment was really good on this one. You push it in, it starts up the movement every single time. No issues with the time setting. It functions exactly like you would expect it to. But yeah, I like the movement on this watch. It's an interesting one. I think it looks really good. The 80 hours of power reserve is actually pretty awesome. All right, so let's get to the strap. So the strap on this watch is really interesting. The strap itself is actually pretty decent. It's not the highest quality strap, but it breaks in right away. It needs, zero break-in period. It's basically nice and soft right out of the box. It is 20 millimeters, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. Here's the clasp here. It's a nice clasp, pretty solid feeling. Yeah, we got no real complaints with it. It is signed as well, which is nice to see. It doesn't really flop around any, so it's nothing super fancy or super special, but it is just a nice solid buckle. One floating keeper, one stationary keeper. We have color match stitching. We have this on this light blue colorway that I'm looking at here. We have a light blue strap. The one big issue I have with this, there is quick release spring bars, as you can see there, but the spring bars, they are curved, and the clearance between the case is extremely, extremely tight. And you can see here, I took this off to try and throw on some different straps, and I basically had to ruin the strap. It's not completely ruined, and it does kind of just hide it when you're wearing it, so it's not that big of a deal, but I could not get this spring bar on. This one here took a lot of force as well, but I literally spent like, I don't know, probably 45 minutes trying to get this spring bar on total. I just could not get it on. And you know me, I've done straps for every watch, and I've never had an issue like this. Just something for you guys to note. If you do want to change the strap on this, you're going to have to go with a curved strap, and good luck getting it on. So I hope you like the stock strap. It's actually, like I said, a pretty decent strap, but you're going to have to really like the look of this one. If not, it's going to be a chore to find one that will fit this one. So just something for you guys to be aware of. So there you go, guys. That is a really interesting watch from Pierre Philippe. We got a really cool and interesting and intricate dial, a really unique case as well. A little bit of an issue with the straps on the watch. If you do like the strap, I suggest just don't take it off ever, period. The movement inside is really, really nice. Very happy with the movement in the watch. 80 hours of power reserve and high beat movement. Accuracy is good as well. The packaging comes in a Pierre Philippe branded box like this, so that's nice to see as well. Overall, it's a pretty cool package. $220. You're getting a really nice movement, so I think a lot of the cost is in that movement alone, and then the design of this watch is really unique and eye-catching. So I think it's a pretty compelling watch for someone that is interested in this look. So just go in knowing some of the shortfalls, and you'll be all right. So I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.